We're going to start with Riyaz in the UK. Welcome. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks, Matt. How are you doing?
I'm great. How can we help?
So basically, I have seen your show and I haven't seen many episodes. I've just come across your channel recently and I just wanted to share some information. Basically, I've sent, I think, a couple of emails and I've shared some physical location. I'm basically from India and well, I believe like obviously God exists and I've shared some information on the email. I'm not sure if you have managed to see that. But this is a physical location. It's a shrine. It's a shrine of a saint from India. And the miracle basically, it's like self-explanatory. There is a video as well. And the video like explains itself what exactly is a miracle. There have been like poisonous snakes and scorpions and, like poisonous creatures around that shrine within that compound. And those snakes and, scorpions never bite any of the visitors. And like people have tested this, they have tried this, they have like taken their own like creatures. I believe BBC had also done a documentary some time ago. I don't have the exact link, but I'll try and find out.
Yeah,
but you can see in the email. Yeah, sure.
So I didn't get to look through all the questions, but I noticed that you sent me links to a couple of YouTube videos. One of them was like a 4-minute video. It wasn't in English, so I couldn't listen to it, but it seemed to be a news report.
Yes.
So first of all, let's just assume for a second that we found a place where scorpions don't sting and snakes don't bite. Number one, I would want not a news story, because I'm not going to with a claim of something that would potentially be miraculous. What we need is a scientific investigation with peer-reviewed research, not just a news story. Because I see all kinds of things on the news that are definitely just crap. So you sent in a bunch of stuff that wouldn't prove the point. But for the sake of argument, let's say that I believed that in this area, scorpions never stung anybody. How does that prove anything? How do you know why they don't sting?
Sure. So let's go back a little bit. The material I've sent you, I understand there is a limitation. It's not exactly in English. But if you see the material carefully, there are links from leading television like channels and news.
Riyaz, I muted you and paused you for just a second because I'm trying to make sure that we keep this thing. I don't need you to talk about what you sent because I didn't get a chance to review it and nobody watching this has had any chance to review it. I'm saying that normally I wouldn't accept a news story as if it were confirmation for anything. But I've already agreed that for the sake of this discussion, let's imagine that you successfully proved that in this area, scorpions don't sting. Why? How do you determine why they don't sting?
Yeah, because there is a historical reference for that particular particular occurrence. Okay, because there is a folklore around that miracle. Okay, and that's all in that email I've sent you. Hello,
Riyaz, I'm asking how you can. Let's assume that there's a place where scorpions don't sting. How do you determine why they don't sting there? What is the process by which you say, here is the reason that scorpions don't sting?
Exactly. So that's what I was trying to explain.
No, sir.
It sounded like you were saying a folklore. Is that your reasoning?
Folklore, yeah. Folklore is not an explanation and it is not a reason to believe something. I'm asking, how can anybody determine why scorpions don't sting?
Yeah, right. So basically, first of all, it's define. It's like defying nature. It's defying logic. It's defining it's defying anything
Riyaz,
which you can.
Riyaz,
yeah.
Are you going to answer the question that I've asked? I'm doing my best to be patient. You are not. Listen really carefully. If I found a scorpion and it did not sting, how would I go about demonstrating why it did not sting?
Yeah, exactly. it's
So you're saying
inside
you
the
don't know
compound of
either?
a shrine. No. It's inside a compound of a shrine, right? And it's very, very obvious. Okay.
Riyaz,
If we are going to, yeah.
Please listen to me. And when I'm done speaking, don't say exactly and then restate what you've said before. I'm looking for a way. Like, let's say that there was a place where dogs stopped pooping. How would we go about determining why dogs stopped pooping?
I think I disagree, Matt. I mean, the analogy you're giving.
How can you disagree with a question, Riyaz?
No, I disagree. I mean, I disagree with the analogy, not the question, right?
You disagree with the question?
It's like, no, with the analogy Matt is giving about dogs.
He didn't give you an analogy.
Okay?
He gave you a question.
Right.
Well, it was a question that was rooted in an analogy, but it's about a methodology here. So,
yeah,
Riyaz.
So I believe it's a miracle. It's a miracle of the saint.
I know that you, Riyaz. I understand that you believe it's a miracle. I'm asking why.
So when you say why, do I have to prove or explain it scientifically?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So it can't be explained scientifically. Okay.
How do you know that? How do you know that something can't be explained? No. Okay. You don't get to say that it's a miracle because it can't be explained scientifically and then say, know, it can't be explained scientifically because it's a miracle. That's a circular argument.
Well, basically, the way I look at it at a miracle is, anything which can defy logic, anything which can defy nature, anything, which defies laws of physics, it could be a miracle, according to
Riyaz,
the way I look at it.
Riyaz, let's try this again. I'm not asking, how do you know it's a miracle? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, let's say that we found a place where dogs don't poop. That would be a miracle, right?
No, I don't.
You don't think it would be a miracle for dogs to stop pooping?
Yeah.
I think that would be a bigger miracle. I don't find anything particularly miraculous about scorpions who don't sting and snakes that don't bite. As somebody who comes from a culture, where there are snake handlers, and as someone who raised snakes, I know about how and why and when snakes don't bite. And that's why I was saying, how do we determine that this is in fact a miracle? Because there's nothing miraculous about a snake not biting or a scorpion not stinging. There would be something miraculous about a dog not pooping, but when we say these dogs stop pooping and we want to find out why, how do we tell?
Let me add on to
Riyaz, interrupt me one more time and I will hang up on you.
Okay.
How do we determine what the explanation is for dogs not pooping or scorpions not stinging? Go ahead.
Well, first of all, if there may be certain things, if the snake is not biting, maybe the snake is calm at that period of time,
sure,
or at that certain, specific period. I mean, I have handled snakes in the past, and not the poisonous ones, obviously, but I've handled snakes which have been found in in the wild, and once they are calm, they won't bite. Okay. And same thing may be applied with other animals, once they think they are out of
agree.
They won't bite, right?
I'm still waiting on the answer to the question.
Yeah. So I think that can explain why they don't bite, right?
No, sir. Riyaz.
Yeah.
You are claiming that you just said that snakes and scorpions may not bite or sting for purely natural reasons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and yet you sent me a claim that in this area, snakes and scorpions have stopped biting, and you claim it's a miracle, while you just said that it happens for natural reasons. And so, how do you determine? Riyaz, how do you determine if something stops biting, whether it's for natural reasons or supernatural reasons?
Yes, I'll explain to you. So, the thing is that, the snakes, the scorpions, they won't bite inside the compound of the shrine, okay? But once you take them out, as soon as you cross the compound, they will bite you.
Okay.
And
so what? Stop, Riyaz. Stop.
Yeah.
You've now defined a set of circumstances that we can put to a test, that any scientist can test. Where is the evidence? Where are the results of this scientific test? Because what you sent me was news story, and you point to folklore. I want a scientific test that demonstrates exactly what you just said, that inside the compound, they never bite, and as soon as they cross the line, they start biting. Prove that.
Yeah, sure. I will. What I'll do is I'll get you the exact evidence, the way you like it. Okay. And I've already sent you a few links. If you can go through those. And what I'll do is, once I have the exact evidence of like showing you how the animals behave.
Call us back when you get that actual evidence then.
Yeah.
It's difficult when people don't listen. I really wanted to let you get in and answer questions, but it's like, it's so strange.
I don't know that I would have asked any better questions.
I don't know how to ask when we can't get past the start, because basically what somebody sent me is like one of 1,000 sensationalized news stories. Here's a temple in India where snakes have stopped biting. Come in here and see. Look, and they'll show people handling them. But there's nothing that says we've confirmed that within this particular spot, snakes never bite. And as soon as you take them out of there, the same snake that was in there, when it crosses this line, all of a sudden, now it's just bitey as hell.
Well, regardless of whether or not that's true, the fact is that it doesn't prove anything other than that they stopped biting. So, I guess what it sounds like is if we know the reason, then it's natural. And if we don't know the reason, then it's a miracle.
Yes, I think that's really close to the way Riyaz is actually thinking, because I don't think that it's true that there's a snake that won't bite within this area and will bite outside of it. But even if it were true, even if we get the science that shows it, maybe there's some sort of sound thing or heat thing or chemical thing or a plant in that area or something else that, because, I can get stuff that drives snakes away and things like that. We would then, that would just be the start of the investigation. Prove that something has happened, and then we can start an investigation. Yeah. But if you can't even prove that something happened, then there's nothing to investigate. And what Riyaz sent me is basically a puff piece on a news story.
Maybe some interesting ideas.
Yeah. And so the interesting thing here is that what Riyaz has jumped to the end of the story. Riyaz heard a story about a place where scorpions don't sting and snakes don't bite. He believes that it's true, although I doubt that he's actually been there to investigate himself. And I don't think that there's been any sort of proper scientific investigation of it. And then after he believes it's true, he says, wow, that's so extraordinary. It's something that couldn't have an actual natural explanation. So it must have a supernatural explanation. What are the best supernatural explanations? Oh, well, here's a folklore story about some saint who was friends with scorpions and snakes. Clearly, that proves this person's a saint. And then we get to smuggle in all the rest of this religious stuff too, because if one part of it's true, it must all be true.
Well, and he also said that I think he said in the notes that it proves a law. I wonder what a Christian would respond to that.
Yeah.
A different God believer.
Well, we're going to talk to some, so maybe we'll find out.